Hey guys, it's Cassandra with Pecan Porch Boutique, back with another video for you. So I found this cute little disc at a garage sale, or at least I thought it was cute. It is cute, but I'm telling you, this disc had some issues. As you can see, the top was all jacked up, the veneer was peeling, and it looked like maybe it had gotten wet on top. The drawers were even worse. And of course, I don't know. I didn't look at it really good when I picked it up, and I just thought it was kind of cute. It's small. I thought, how cute. It could go in a small space or, in a corner. So this is what we're going to be working on today, y'all. My theme for this particular video, y'all, is embracing the imperfections. So I don't sell my pieces for a lot. So I don't really, do a lot to them. I make them pretty and I make them, they're clean and sturdy. But, I'm not a woodworker and I don't use power tools very well. Secret. So I don't do a lot of things to them. So this one is just, I'm going to embrace the perfections and utilize those imperfections to make this little disc pretty. I'm starting out by taking my heat gun and I'm going to lift up the veneer that is loose, and then I'm going to give it a good clean. I'm going to start out by casting some molds with the amazing casting resin. This is the 10-minute formula, and I'm going to be using IOD's Felicity mold. So if you guys have never used resin, the casting resin, I've only used amazing casting resin, so I can't speak for any other resin. But if you've never used this resin, it's really, really easy. It's a 2-part resin. You get part A, and then you get part B, which is the hardener. You get some cups and you get a stirring stick. And it's so easy that you just mix equal parts, stir it up, and then you'll kind of feel it getting hot. It creates some kind of chemical reaction. You'll kind of feel it getting warm. And then you just pour it into your mold. That's it. And then you wait for it to harden. So I am doing that. You'll see me doing that here. But I also have these little cups that I got from Amazon. They're silicone, and I'm using those to actually stir it, and you'll see me looking back and forth to make sure that it's clear. You want to stir it until it's clear, that you don't see any cloudy, and then just pour it in your mold. And I always have like an extra mold or something sitting around just in case I have some of the this resin left over, because this stuff ain't cheap, y'all. So I don't want to waste it. So here I go with my first pour. It doesn't take long at all for these to harden, and then you can just pop them out of the mold. If you wanted them to be like a little less hard, you can pop them out early. As you'll see when I'm doing this one, you can tell that it's not as hard as the others. It's bendable still. If you wanted to do that and maybe kind of bend it around the corner, you could pop it out a little bit early and kind of use it to make it a little bit more bendable. And so once I get them all out, then they're ready to go. And here's a look at all of them once they have hardened. They are ready now for me to apply. And I am just going to be applying those with some Titebond Quick and Thick glue. And I'm kind of focusing on the edge of the disc where I took that veneer off to kind of camouflage that. Again, this is about embracing the imperfections. So that is what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of No rhyme or reason, just kind of placing them, and then I'm using my heat gun to actually kind of melt the glue and make them have a better seal to the desk. And here you can see them all as I have them all lined up around the top. Again, no particular rhyme or reason at all. I just tried to cover most of that veneer that I took off, just to kind of camouflage it a little bit. Stuck in the dust of the life that you... Also, if you're interested in any of the molds, the IOD molds that I'm using, any of the stencils, you'll see me use those in a little bit, or any of the paints, you can find those on my website at www.pecanporchboutique.com. Now I'm just going to start by going over all of my molds with DIY paint. This is Little Black Dress. And I'm just going to try to completely cover those. Sometimes it's kind of hard to cover these molds. You kind of have to look at them at different angles. You may have to get a smaller brush to get into the little details. But I'm starting out with Little Black Dress. I'm going to give this entire desk a coat or two of Little Black Dress to start out with. For those of you that have watched my videos before, you guys know I love to layer. So I'm going to be kind of going back and forth with some DIY paints in Aviary, which is this kind of green. I'm going to use a little bit of Prom Queen, which is kind of a light blue. And then I'm going to come back with some Little Black Dress. I'm going to come back with some Aviary. So I'm going to be doing this back and forth until I kind of get the blended look that I'm looking for. And then for this middle section, you'll see that I'm going to use some white. That's DIY's White Swan. And by using white in the middle, can you guess what I'm going to do? I'm sure you can. Beneath the shadows of this quiet town, I see you there, your feathers on the ground. Your eyes are heavy with the weight of the world. Now, I also want to make this little disc a Paris-themed desk as well. So I'm going to start out by using DIY's Cherry Picked along with my French script stencil to kind of go down each side of the disc and give it a little bit of typography. I love typography, y'all. Down, 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 you can still take flight, although you're earthbound. Now, one of the key things to getting a good crisp stencil, y'all, is to make sure that you offload your brush. Stencils do not need a lot of paint, and I still struggle with this, and I've been using them for quite a while. You're always going to think, I don't have enough paint on my brush, when you probably do. So you'll see that I'm going to kind of mess up, I'm going to kind of smudge these. Also, make sure your stencil is laying flat. That's another rule. But offload your brush, make sure your stencil is laying flat, and you will get a good crisp stencil. You'll see in a little while that I kind of messed this up, actually on the script and on another piece of a stencil that I'm going to use, and I have to kind of camouflage it. So just beware that when you're doing a stencil, you're always going to think that you don't have enough paint on your brush, but you do. Stencils need very little paint. You
can still take flight.
Here's an example that I was telling you about. So I'm using my corset stencil and I just want the little words on the bottom. I think it says like Saint Francine Paris or something like that. But I'm thinking, oh, I don't have enough paint on my brush. And it completely got smudged because the letters are very, very tiny. And so it really got smudged up. So what did I have to do? I had to start all over and try to get my blend back together so that I could re-stencil that. And that's another thing. If you have a good blend, you're never going to get that same blend again. So just make sure that you offload your brush and use very little paint. So here I go, starting all over, y'all.
You can still take flight, although you're earthbound. You're earthbound. Beneath the shadows of this quiet town, I see you there, your feathers on the ground. Your eyes are heavy with the weight of the world. What's in the life you never.
Okay, y'all, we are going to Paris on this little disc. I've never been to Paris, y'all. I hope to one day get to go. Until then, I love to create Paris-themed pieces of furniture. So I am going to be using rice paper decoupage paper for this one. This is by Decoupage Queen, and it is called La Tour Eiffel. It's a beautiful paper, y'all. So pretty. Has the Eiffel Tower in the background, a bicycle, some flowers. So that is what I'm going to be using. I'm sure you guessed it. When I painted the white in the middle, it was for this decoupage paper. So rice paper is really very soft and fibrous. So I didn't need to use water to make my, to kind of wet my edge to trim. I'm just going to trim it off with my fingers. I'm just going to pull it off. It pulls off really, really easy. And up at the top of the disc and along the bottom, I am just going to kind of try to tear the paper around the molds so that it kind of fits up against the molds, kind of like a puzzle. And so that's what you'll see me doing here, just kind of pressing down as I fill the molds with my finger and tearing along the molds, not necessarily just tearing straight across. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm going to do that at the top and any places at the bottom where the molds meet the paper. And then from there we'll have a good kind of a good place where the paper just lays around the molds.
Although you're earthbound,
to lay down your paper is the same whether it's rice paper or whether it's tissue paper. You just choose your water-based top coat. In this instance, I'm going to be using DIY Paints liquid patina. It's kind of my favorite go-to, but you can choose any water-based top coat you want. And I'm just going to lay down a good layer, not a lot, but just a good layer of the top coat. I'm going to kind of offload it similar to the way that I do when I'm stenciling. I'm going to get the most of it away from the paper, and then once it's offloaded away from the paper, then I'll just kind of come back underneath the paper and kind of get a good line of it right near where the paper, where I'm going to be starting the next. So you'll see me doing that here. I'm just going to continue to lay down my top coat, a nice thin layer, not a lot. You don't really need a lot, a nice thin layer, and I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to offload it away from the paper and then come back up to the paper with what's left on the brush.
beneath the shadows of this quiet.
You'll also see me holding my paper up as I kind of press it down. That helps to kind of clear out any wrinkles going forward. And I'm using a piece of cling wrap. That way my fingers don't get on the paper with the potential for tearing it. And I'm just using the cling wrap to kind of almost iron it down with my fingers, or with the cling wrap under my fingers.
Take a chance and try once more. Don't let your worries weigh you down, down, down. You can still take flight, although you're earthbound.
I will also be using the same liquid patina to seal the entire piece once I'm done. Liquid patina is kind of a matte finish. I don't really like satin finishes on my furniture. Most of them are older pieces, and so it doesn't seem like the satin really goes well with the older pieces, but I like matte finishes. So the liquid patina is a matte finish. DIY does have another top coat called Big Top, which is more of a satin finish if you like satin finishes.
Even if you've never flown before, you can take a chance and try once.
Once the rice paper is laid down, the top is almost finished. So I'm going to move on to the side. I'm going to be using my French postcard stencil to stencil along the sides, and I'm going to be using DIY's White Swan for the color.
Although you're earthbound, you're even if you've never flown before, you can take a chance and try once more. Don't let your worries weigh you down, down. You can still take flight.
Okay, y'all, I really struggle with this one drawer. The drawers were not in good shape, but there was one that was in worse shape than the other. And these are old drawers. I did not want to try to have to pull out the bottom and make another bottom. So I'm just gonna, roll with it. So what I decided to do, one of them has a crack in the bottom. So I'm gonna use my E6000 glue to kind of reinforce that crack, to kind of pull it back together. And then you'll see me, at first I thought, well, I'll just glue it and then I'll put something heavy on it. Child, that wasn't working. I don't know what I was thinking. But I did use my glue, and then I used some clear tape on the back to kind of hold the crack together after I put the glue down. And then I used my staple gun to kind of staple it together. So yeah, it still doesn't look very good, but I'm pretty sure that if you put something in the drawer now, it won't fall through. So that was my solution. Don't forget, embracing the imperfections.
you never could offer. Even if you've never flown before, you can take a chance and try once more. Don't let your worries weigh you down, down, down. You can still take flight, although you're earthbound.
And now it's time for some paint. I mean, just some paint will make it look better. And I don't know, it was something in this drawer that the black, it didn't come out when I cleaned it, but when I started to paint, it reactivated it. So again, embracing the imperfections. I'm going back with a DIY's Cherry Picked, and then I am going to do an inlay over the bottom of the drawer and along the sides. I'm going to be using IOD's Vita Flora inlay. This is an inlay made by, it was created by Debbie Beard, the one that does the paint, Debbie's DIY paint. And this is a really colorful inlay. And so I'm going to be using the inlay, and I'm going to be laying it into paint inside the drawer and along the sides. And I'm going to be using the two birds. They look like parrots or something. They're really pretty, really colorful, and they'll go with the rest of the color on the piece, because I'm going to come back and I'm going to actually dry brush the molds in some colorful colors that I think will go very good with this particular inlay. So here you'll see me just laying down another fresh coat of paint. I'm going to be laying my inlay into the paint. Inlays are really easy. You just lay them down with the grid side facing you. You'll see me doing that here. I'm going to give it a good press down with my hand. Nothing, you know, nothing outrageous. Then I'm just going to take my mister bottle and I'm going to mist it. Once I mist it, you'll see all the really pretty colors kind of come to life. I'm going to mist it up with my mister bottle, and then I'm just going to take my shop towel and I'm just going to press it into the paint. And that's pretty much it. Then I'm going to wait for it to dry, and then I'm going to peel it up.
You're earthbound. Beneath the shadows of this quiet town, I see you there, your feathers on the ground. Your eyes are heavy with the weight of the world. What's in a life you never could offer? Even if you've never flown before, you can take a chance and try once more. Don't let your worries weigh you down, down, down. You can still take flight, although you're earthbound.
And I think we can bring this project to an end, y'all. Embracing the imperfections, and we're going for a Paris theme too. So take a look where we started, and now look at where we have come. This turned out so pretty. I am really, really happy with how it turned out, especially considering where it came from. So you can see I gave the Felicity molds some dry brushing in some of the good colors. You can see the Latour Eiffel paper along with the French script. You can see that the drawers look so much better along the sides and inside. So this piece has come a long, long way. I wasn't really sure, y'all, and I'm still not really sure about the handles that I chose on this piece, but I'm just going to go with them for now. Unless I look in the drawer and find something else, this is what it's going to be. You can see that I added a little gold, child, because y'all know I cannot go not one piece without adding some kind of gold. So I added a little gold around the trim of the drawers. Also, the knobs have a little gold in them. The French script looks so pretty, along with the French postcard script on the side. I just love it, y'all. I hope you guys liked it too. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to bud, bloom, and be unique. Until next time, bye-bye, you guys.
Although you're earthbound.